Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So today, let's talk about this repeating pattern. What is this pattern, you may be wondering about? Well, let me explain it and let me explain why this is a good pattern to be in. And also, let's talk about what's going on tomorrow. Something big is happening tomorrow. And let's talk about what to expect this weekend. Welcome, 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 guys. Bitcoin is right back above 28,000, like it never left, right? Right now, I know it's a little boring, right? But that's okay. Boring is actually good. A little bit less volatility is actually good, so we don't get scared by these kind of drops, right? We've been holding pretty well, going sideways, right? While the market is trying to figure out what to do exactly. The U.S. market is just up and down, up and down. Tomorrow, the market is off, though. Okay, it's going to be off. But not economic data. Tomorrow, we are getting a big, well, actually several big economic data. You have non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate. Both of these are absolutely huge. One, of course, measures unemployment, and one measures how many people that have jobs, okay? These are very, very, very important economic data, okay? Again, showing how weak or strong the U.S. economy is. And, of course, this relates to the rate hike that's coming up next month, right? So, of course, very important indeed. So we will see, even though the stock market's off tomorrow, right? We will see what happens tomorrow. Can it spur a huge Bitcoin rally, because Bitcoin never sleeps 24/7, right? Possibly. Also, I'm hearing a lot of insiders talk about this, that the SEC is about to lose. Gary's about to lose its case against Grayscale. Now, last month, it was reported that, the judge is really the judge does not like the SEC argument. Basically, there's no reason why the SEC should be denying spot Bitcoin ETF versus futures ETF. I mean, they're both tracking Bitcoin's price, right? So what's the reason? Well, the SEC has not been giving any good reasons. So after last month, now you're hearing more and more from lawyers and analysts saying that the SEC is about to lose. And of course, if that happens, that would be absolutely fantastic. People are throwing out figures like this: 70% chance for Grayscale to win. And not only that, the courts may rule that SEC's conduct may violate U.S. federal law, like they overstepped, right? If this happens, probably not tomorrow, but if it happens, soon, this could be a huge jolt to the market, a huge catalyst also, and this could be a precursor to the Ripple lawsuit, which they may also be losing too. So you may get two huge lawsuits settled that could help crypto and Bitcoin in a big way, right? So this is a lot of rumors rumbling around about this, but you know what? We'll see. And of course, right now, you still have a lot of bank fears, right? All these things, if you think about it, all help Bitcoin. 100 billion rally, right? As banks borrow and borrow and borrow from the Fed because they so scared. They don't know what to do as withdrawals keep on increasing, right? All these things could help Bitcoin move further upwards. But you know what? You could also make this argument that everything is just going according to plan, right? If you lay out Bitcoin's trajectory right now versus the previous cycles, right? In terms of the days, the peaks, the dips, the realized price. I mean, if you lay it out one on top of each other, you could see that, the dips and the valleys are a little bit less with every cycle, and that's to be expected because Bitcoin is bigger, right? More market cap, so less volatility. But you could see how the time they rally is very, very, very similar. Also, the time when they peak is very similar. Okay? So if history is any indication, we are right at the point, maybe another month or so, when Bitcoin really starts moving, right? So everything is moving according to plan. And we got a lot of macro stuff I just mentioned that's also helping Bitcoin's case, right? But the halving cycle is still in play. We are moving above the bottom, and we're definitely on our way up, right? So Drew asks, is it true that you're related to Satoshi? Maybe, but I would never confirm or deny that. Junie says, U.S. Treasury warns of DeFi's threat to U.S. security. I did not hear about that, but who cares what Janet Yellen says? Nothing. She doesn't say anything intelligent. And remember, she just recently said, "Don't worry, we're not going to bail out the banks." And a day later, they bail out the banks. So I wouldn't put too much weight into what she says. Anyways, moving past this, speaking of banks and inflation and monetary policy, you know what? This is Bitcoin's monetary policy, to cut its inflation rate by half every 4 years, the halving event. This is what happens. At the beginning, you have 50 Bitcoins per block. Then you have 25 4 years later. Then you have 12.5, 6.25. The next one will cut it down to 3.15. And the one after that, 1.56. And the one after that, 0.78. And then it starts going down a lot. The decimal point starts carrying over, right? Less and less and less and less and less Bitcoin will be released. Supply and demand. When supply is dropping and demand is going up, you know what's going to happen to the price, right? I mean, this is the monetary policy for Bitcoin. Set in code by Satoshi, can't be changed. You can't inflate it more than its schedule. You can't just say, I'm just going to print out $6 trillion more dollars worth of Bitcoin. It can't happen. But the Fed can make it happen with their own money machine, right? That's why we have inflation. That's why we have inflation around the world and all that stuff. You guys get it, right? But this is the truest, I guess, system there is, because there's no man that's governing this. It's governed by code. And also stablecoins. The position of stablecoins is starting to come down, which is really good, because that means people are utilizing their money to buy things, right? But there's a lot more. Last time I covered this, there was still about $135 billion sitting in crypto waiting to be deployed. Okay, think about it. Over $100 billion. That could really move things, right? And that's just what's in crypto. What about money sitting on the sidelines outside of crypto waiting to come in? And there are a lot of billions, a lot of zeros, especially from institutions and countries that are all really looking to come in a big way. So good things. And of course, charts like this still show Bitcoin is doing its thing and recovering from bottom, right? I mean, there's so many similarities. You can't unsee these kind of charts. There's just so many different indicators, different moving averages, different signals, and they're all signaling Bitcoin is following the same path as before when it recovered from bottom, and great things are about to happen. And here's another one with EMA ribbon. Again, Bitcoin has just broken out of it, okay? And look at the last two times it broke out of it. I know in 2020 we had a COVID crash, so that was a little bit different. But even then, after we broke out, bottom 3,000, top 14,000, right? In 2015, once we broke out, it just never stopped. It went from $160 up to $20,000. So think about that, right? And think about what is about to come now. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Okay, now outside of Bitcoin, a lot of altcoins have been doing very well. Okay, to answer someone in the live chat that said, why don't you cover Injective? It's in the top 100. In fact, I did cover it last night. But you know what? Today, let's talk about Avalanche because there's a lot of things going on in Avalanche right now. Specifically, they're getting ready for their Cortana upgrade. I'm surprised Microsoft is not suing Avalanche for using that. But Cortana update goes live on the testnet. And what does this do? Well, it's better for payments. Okay. It enables users or protocols to send and receive funds and enables faster development. Overall, it's a big upgrade. On the testnet, it'll come to the mainnet pretty soon. But that's not what's really exciting. What's exciting about Avalanche is this. It's seeing massive adoption, especially with its subnet and with its gaming and NFT ecosystem. They're both kind of exploding in a big way. Subnets is a way to have a different chain that's utilizing Avalanche, right? And also subnets have interoperability and talk to each other. But subnets is what a lot of projects are using to deploy without coming out their own chain, right? It's like a really quick and dirty way to come out their own chain by utilizing Avalanche and its code base and its development tools and everything else, right? So that's actually what's really exciting about Avalanche. You have a lot of games going on here. Here's Gunzilla Games partnered with Avalanche on blockchain gaming, right? Recently, Avalanche also partnered up with Amazon, right? So the rumored, I don't have the article, but rumored NFT marketplace Amazon coming out with is also going to be on Avalanche, right? And of course, you have someone like DeFi Kingdoms that already launched an Avalanche years ago and has conducted millions upon millions upon millions of transactions, right? But it's only the beginning. Only the beginning. Avalanche is also launching something called evergreen subnets, especially for institutional companies that may not want all their public data to be on the public blockchain. So this is a way for them to kind of create a private subnet that's still utilizing the public subnet, right? So they are trying to draw institutional investors and companies and dApp makers, like especially like finance stuff, right? You don't want all the numbers to be searchable on the public blockchain, right? So it makes a lot of sense. But overall, right now, there's about 55 subnets growing, about 1,220 validators. But this is just the beginning, and there's a lot more to come. So overall, Avalanche, one of my favorite projects. People have asked me, do you like Avalanche or Solana better these days? I definitely say Avalanche because they are still growing by leaps and bounds right now. And they have a lot of potential. That's quite simply it. All right. Nice and dirty tonight. Not a whole lot more to talk about. The overall market cap is still holding very well. You have a lot of several altcoins that are doing relatively well. Bitcoin is still doing relatively well. And we will see tomorrow, even though the U.S. market is closed, but those two big economic data could definitely swing things in a positive way for Bitcoin. Okay, so we will see. We will see. All right, let's do some Q&A. I find notifications recently on YouTube is really wonky. I don't know if you guys noticed that. A lot of people complain they're not getting notified. If that's the case, you have to unsubscribe, resubscribe, and re-hit that notification bell if that's the case. But I've been hearing a lot about that recently. All right. Let's see. What did I miss here? I see a lot of hearts on a live chat. Who's throwing all these hearts everywhere? Is my camera off? I see my camera on. You guys don't see my camera? Does the inflation rate on Avalanche bother you? Well, yes and no. Overall, there's a lot of projects that do inflate quite a bit, right? And the way to offset that is to bring more dApps and users, right? That's why some of these chains give you pretty good returns for staking, right? Some are like 9, 10, 11, 12%. And they're able to do that because of the inflation rate. But if they bring enough users, enough usage, then it offsets that. So it really depends on if they're able to do that. Low IQ? That's a pretty personal question. I don't know if I should answer you, but I will say the next video, which is a really good one. I worked all day today for it. Not all day, but I'm going to release that tomorrow night because I don't have a video tomorrow night, right? Tomorrow, by the way, since there's no market, I'm not going to be streaming 8:30 a.m. I'm not going to be waking up. Probably I'll stick to the 10:30 schedule. Just FYI. Man, is this something new in the live chat? I see nothing but hearts and smiley faces. Like, I don't recall seeing that yesterday. Do you think Bitcoin could reach 200,000 by 2025? Yes, I do think so. I do think so. There's a really good chance. After 100K, which I think is a certainty, I think the FOMO will be so great that everyone's just going to be FOMOing in, right? I think just keep in mind, we were at 70,000, so it's not a stretch to get to 100,000. And then after 100,000, the FOMO, not just with retail, but institutional investors, everyone else, I mean, man, 200,000 could be a real possibility. If we don't hit it, so what? If we end up at 125, 150, no one's going to complain, right? But I'll tell you, FOMO is real. It's very real. The higher it goes, the more FOMO there is. How many Bitcoin do I hold? More than one. Does that answer you? Let's see. People said ADA would never hit $1. Look how that turned out. I was one of those people. Like, I could have bought ADA all day long under 5 cents. I thought they would never finish, and they did, and they shot up to like $3, right? Now, of course, they're lower, but still kind of shows you. You just never know sometimes. And with good projects, they kind of just stay around forever, and they never really go away. I am bullish on Atom. I'm bullish on Cosmos. There's a lot of new projects that are coming out on Cosmos. Because, I just talked about Avalanche and subnets. With Atom is the same thing. You could create your own chain very easily using their SDK, have massive interoperability with all the other chains within Cosmos, right? That's a huge advantage. Huge advantage. So I am bullish on Cosmos. I only FOMO. Thank you. I don't know why I said thank you, but I guess thank you for FOMOing. What would you say the best path to get ADA from Deadlist to Coinbase? Just like any other path. You get an address from Coinbase, you send it to it. I don't get it. I don't get it. My wife has a love and hate relationship with your voice. Natalia, hello. Give your husband a break. Do something nice for him. He'll enjoy it. I don't know what I'm saying. Uh, you should have done a double DCA last night to make up for last week. It's okay. Okay, it's okay. First of all, I think most of you guys know it's a sample portfolio, right? It's not my actual portfolio, but I'm doing so as a point. So you miss 1 week, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, right? As Bitcoin gets higher, that DCA portfolios get back to even and then go into the green. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, right? And I'm doing it to prove the point with DCA. My garage door, I'm going to answer that in my next video. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. It's a good video. I did some good stuff. And a really nice thumbnail. So it's going to come out tomorrow night. How many crypto do you hold in your portfolio? I don't know. Maybe like 15. I used to have a lot more, but it's like 15 probably right now. But the vast majority of it is in the big caps and Bitcoin. Interactive. Thank you for that. But you say that like every single stream. Am I bullish on Algo? No, I'm not. I'm not bullish on Lincoln Navigator. Lincoln Navigator. No, it's not Navigator. Aviator. Okay, I thought you said Navigator. I'm not bullish on any Lincolns. I think Ford is not doing enough, and it's a dying brand. So, not a fan of any Lincolns, and I've driven all of them. Rank 1 through 4, Matic, Adam, Ada, Gala. Probably in that order. The way you wrote it, that's the order. Is Steve Jobs Satoshi? No, he's not. Am I bullish on Shiba? I don't own any, but I could say this. I'm very glad to see that they are moving forward and building utility. That's important. I love to see that. Thoughts on Web3 gaming? Well, there's a lot of makers that are promising AAA games, but I will say this, they're very difficult to build. They are very time consuming, very costly. That's why a lot of these projects take forever and still not done, right? So I get it, but we haven't really seen a true AAA game yet. We're all waiting. We're all waiting for it. No, I'm not bullish on Hedera. Are there any regulations or laws you would like put crypto, but what could accept if you had to meet? Are you saying, are there any laws that I would accept? Sure, like KYC. Like in the US, I think KYC for the exchanges, I think that's reasonable. I get it. They want to know who is buying, right? But I don't agree if they put KYC on self-custody wallets. That has nothing to do with them, right? So that's a clear example of, I think KYC for exchanges is fine, but KYC on your own wallet is not fine, right? So that's kind of like a give or take, I guess, situation. Norman, appreciate it. Did I see the Coindesk article about Luxo? Seems like the mainnet is finally happening. No, I've not been keeping up Luxo. So there's just too many projects. They had so many years to finish up. I'm hoping the best for them, but they are not on my radar anymore. Am I bullish on Mask Network? Mask, I have a love and hate relationship. A lot of people think Mask, they're kind of like into like, I think they're into like Twitter. they were they were listed like under Binance as one of like the, I forgot what criteria they were looking at, but it's like a weird thing. Let me look it up. I totally, I can't even explain it right. Okay, you could first of all encrypt messages, and then they had something where it was built into Twitter. Launch new projects via ITO initial Twitter offering. I don't even know what that is. Built-in social trading tools. So it's like I think people see this as a Web3 extension sort of project, right? To get to kind of use Web 2 and do Web 3. That's kind of how I see it. Like something like that, right? And here it shows that you can use your NFT avatars in your Twitter profile. Again, see, putting like Web 3 into Web 2. Something like that. I don't know. I guess they're okay. But they were also listed under some Binance thing. I forgot what site on Binance that listed Mass Network. So that definitely helped pump them up. Are you bullish on turtles? Thanks. Sure. What's not to love about turtles? Are you bullish on male cows? Well, if we didn't have male cows, we would have no cows, which means we would have no dairy. So I'm bullish on male cows. Will XLM explode when XRP wins the loss? So I think so. Not in the way XRP will explode. XLM is very similar to XRP, so many people think, including I, if Ripple loses the case against the SEC, they'll probably go target Stellar next, right? But if they win, they're probably not going to target Stellar. So I think it could be bullish for Stellar. You were wrong about FOMC numbers. Yeah, I said they were not going to raise, and they did. And turned out to be a big mistake. So, am I really wrong? No. I was not really wrong. But we will see. We will see what happens this next one. Economic data is going down. Jobless claims is going up. Job numbers are going down. Tomorrow we'll get more readings. Those are important. So it definitely shows the U.S. economy is softening in a big, big, big way. What is the smallest cap project that you own? I do have something. I'm not going to say what it is. But it has a lot to do with something that I was in. I was participating and shooting. And I was away for a while because of it. And it relates to that. So I'll just leave that as my clue. It's still very early, and there's a lot of stuff left to be hashed out. But for the most part, I have big caps. Bitcoin, there's nothing wrong with big caps, Bitcoin, some mid caps, right? I'm not adding a lot of micro caps or small caps because these days you just don't know. And I don't think the timing is right, but we'll see. Is the Shanghai upgrade next week? Yes. Could be good for Ethereum, but it could also be a trap. Maybe it dumps afterwards. We don't know. I don't think so, but even if it does short term, long term, I think it's bullish for Ethereum. How high do you think Veracity could go next bull run? I don't know. I've never been a fan of Veracity, so I don't follow it. Do you stake ETH? No, I'm still waiting. Waiting for the Shanghai upgrade to happen, and then I feel better about staking. All right, guys, let's call it a night. Overall, Bitcoin is still holding. Crypto market cap is still holding. Grayscale may win. That's awesome. Ripple may win. That's awesome. Is Bitcoin still following its previous cycle? Yes, that's awesome. There's a lot of awesomeness to Bitcoin, right? So stick with it, my friends. Don't be bored out or scared out. This is the time to be in, right? Just look at it. Look at it versus the previous cycles. This is the time to be in. And also, a lot of things are going on with Avalanche, so don't miss out on Avalanche as well. All right, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow, like I said, I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow morning. It'll probably be like 10:30, my usual weekend time, right? And that's it. Oh, by the way, I got something to show you guys. Hold on.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.